Go ahead, Amy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silver Planet's What Midlife Women Want, Sex, Relationships, Careers. Thanks for attending. My name is Amy Babcock, and I'll be your moderator today. Before introducing our guest, I'd like to take a moment to tell you what we do. Very simply, Silver Planet helps boomers guide their parents in age and place by offering personalized professional consultations and related products and services on aging at home and housing options. We have combined all of our personalized services with over 20,000 pages of relevant content from the nationally known speakers and authors, timely webinars, blogs, and scam alerts all in one place, making us a unique company among the hundreds of offering the assistance to boomers. We help you find the answers so that you can worry less about your parents no matter how far away you are. And now to our guest. Our Silver Planet columnist, Jane Glenn Haas, is a multimedia personality, a newspaper writer, national columnist, book author, television host, professional speaker, and the founder of WomanSage, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing support for women in midlife through educational programs. In November 2006, Jane Glenn Haas retired, ending a 25-year career as a writer for the Orange County Register. However, she continues to write 2 columns weekly, Our Time and Our Health. They are distributed to 300 newspapers. Twice nominated for the Pulitzer Prize, she has been honored for excellence in aging reporting with the Hugh Downs Award of the International Longevity Center, the American Medical Writers Association Rose Kushner Award, the Alzheimer's Association Rosemary Award, and many others. Jen is the author of Time of Your Life, Why Almost Everything Gets Better After 50. And she appears regularly on PBS stations KCET and KOCE. Hi, Jen. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Amy?
I am doing great. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you didn't interrupt me. I was just going to say that I'm sorry that I don't have slides today, but as you know, I've been having some computer problems. So everybody just has to listen to me talk, and so if that's all right, I'll just get started then.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about how things have changed, because originally I had thought that our lives were very different from our mothers for a variety of reasons, but the recession has added a whole new dimension to everything that I had originally projected. For example, this all began for me when I was driving with my husband up the middle of the state of Washington, and he was behind the wheel, and I was, of course, deep in thought, and he broke the quiet, and he jolted me into reality, and he said, I think I'll retire, and we can open a bed and breakfast. Now, this was about, 9 years ago, I guess, and I told that story the other day at Santa Clara University, and the room was absolutely quiet because the young people in there thought, well, why not open a bed and breakfast? But whenever I tell it with a group of women, they usually laugh because they know right away what I'm thinking. I'm going to be cleaning out toilets for strangers, and he's going to be having sherry and cheese and crackers with the guests. And that's all I could think of. And my stomach lurched, and my hand moved to the door handle, and I thought I have 2 options. I can jump out of the car or at 65 miles an hour, or I can spend my old age, doing housework, which I don't even do now. I'm a journalist for too long, and this man wants me to brew coffee and bake strudel for people I don't even know. And besides, I wasn't ready to retire. So anyway, I started to think about my mother and how she gave up everything for my father. She was an executive secretary in New York and quite successful at the time. But she had raised me to believe that women put the cheese on the macaroni, and my father had raised me to believe that it's the men who work to pay for the macaroni and the cheese. And my mom said, you make your choice and you live with it, at least as far as men were concerned. When I told her I was divorcing my first husband, for example, she said to me, why are you doing this? And I said, because I'm not happy. And she said, whoever told you you were entitled to be happy? she was a product of a culture where women came second. And so she gave up her secretarial job and was ready to move to Florida and fish for grouper because that's what my dad wanted to do, even though she never was interested in anything like that because it was her duty. So I'm thinking of my mother and her duty as we're hurtling up the middle of the state of Washington, and this idea of a bed and breakfast is in front of me. And then all of a sudden the angels started singing. Well, they didn't really start singing, but my mood lifted, and the sky was blue, and the clouds were puffy white, and the sun shone clear and fresh because I have my own money, Social Security, pension, 401k, and other savings, and I can take care of myself financially. So I reached over and I patted my husband on the shoulder, and I said, you go ahead and do that, and I'll come and visit you on the weekends. And I'm thinking about that now when I think about the boomer women who are just starting to turn 65. I'm just a little bit ahead of you a few years, and I tell you that aha moment of knowing that you've got your own money and you've got your own independence was a great shift for me, a great monumental realization that I could take care of myself. Even though I knew that we had broken the mold, I consider myself a boomer woman because I'm only 2 years older than that crowd. And I know that we're free to work, to travel, to enjoy life on an equal footing with most men. And that's great, but things have changed. Would you be surprised to know, for example, that the economic emancipation of women, which is going global, is also creating all kinds of problems? Now, in this 21st century moment for women, women are achieving the right to own property, to vote, to leave unhappy marriages, to get an education, to control their own reproductive systems. But as Maddie Dykewald says in her new book, Influence, in 2009, women held 49% of all its non-farm jobs. The number of women earning $100,000 or more tripled. And between 2000 and 2008, the women's average weekly wages grew steadily while men didn't grow at all. This was great news, and we keep telling ourselves that we're moving forward. As I said, that we've broken the mold. But this has all come to a great screeching halt. In Orange County, 49% of the people who have been out of work are out of work long term. They've been out of work a long time. And a lot of them are women, and a lot of them are women 50 plus. We have a group that meets as part of our WomanSage nonprofit called Reinvent Yourself. And it is a group of women dedicated to networking and finding jobs and learning how to perhaps use their skills in a different way in today's job market. And we are getting 150 to 200 women in our monthly meetings. So women are supposed to be the dominant feature of the 21st century economy. We're supposed to be the ones, according to Maddie Dykewald, who are going to be controlling most of the money and most of the jobs, because a knowledge-based economy is what we are into now. Think about this from this point of view. The women used to work at home because we were task-based. I mean, that's what our job was, like to wash the floor, or to cook the dinner, something like that. But now, work today is not task-based, it's knowledge-based, and it's also based on networking and knowing a lot of people and so on, and that is where women have always shined. So we are now becoming the dominant economic power in the United States and in the world. And what does this mean? Well, I don't know what it's going to mean, because I don't know whether or not we're ready to recalculate our lives. And this is something that I would like to get some feedback from some of the people listening to this webinar about. Because what we have to do is recalculate our life goals based on options for work, for money, for intimacy, for family and friends, for how we take care of our health, and for our purpose and identity.